They say billionaires live behind gates. They say they don't knock on regular people's doors. Yeah, turns out that's a lie. Because at 9:17 a.m. on the worst week of our lives, someone knocked on our front door. And in 1 minute, everything we thought we knew snapped in half. Our house wasn't special. Paint peeling, one porch step that always squeaked, a mailbox leaning like it gave up a long time ago. Inside was quiet, not peaceful quiet, that stressed quiet, the kind where the fridge clicks on and you hold your breath hoping it stays on. My mom sat at the kitchen table, bills spread out like a losing hand, final notices. Shut-off warnings, due dates circled so hard the pen almost tore the paper. My little sister Emma was still asleep, no school today, not because it was a holiday, because she forgot the permission slip again. Truth was we couldn't afford the field trip. Again, and me? I stood at the sink with a chipped mug staring out the window like I could force a miracle into our driveway. We didn't ask people for help. Pride was all we had left. So we just survived. Then knock, knock, not loud, not rude, just steady like whoever it was already knew we'd answer. I froze. Nobody came by like that. And if it was someone official, it was never the kind you wanted. My mom didn't even look up right away, just sighed like she'd been expecting bad news all morning. You get it, she said. I walked to the door, heart thumping for no reason. I cracked it open just enough to see. A man in a navy suit, not flashy, just expensive in a quiet way, shoes spotless, hair silver, face calm like chaos didn't apply to him. Across the street, a black SUV sat idling. Windows dark, the man smiled. Not salesman smile, more like he'd practiced being gentle. Good morning, he said. Is this 1247 Maple Ridge Carter? My stomach dropped. He didn't just know our name. He said our address like he'd memorized it. Yeah, I said. Who are you? He nodded once. I'm here about your father. The air changed. My dad's gone, I said. He passed. The man didn't flinch, didn't do the awkward sympathy dance. He just lowered his eyes. I know, he said. Cold ran down my spine. How do you know that? I asked. His gaze slid past me into the house like he could count the problems just by looking. Then he said something that made my throat tighten. And Emma still sleeps on the left side of the hallway, right? I swear my heart stopped. Nobody knew that, not strangers. May I come in? He asked. I should have said no. I should have shut the door, but his voice wasn't pushy. It was careful, so I stepped aside. He walked in like he'd been here before and avoided the one board that always squealed. My mom stood fast, hands smoothing her shirt like she could smooth the whole day. What is this? She said. Who are you and what do you want? That was my mom, protective first, polite later. The man raised both hands. My name is Daniel Whitmore, he said. And I'm not here to cause trouble. My mom didn't move. Never heard of you. I didn't expect you to, he said. Your husband kept things simple on purpose. Her eyes narrowed. My husband worked nights, she said. Maintenance at Ridgeview Memorial Hospital. Leaky pipes, broken doors, that's it. Daniel nodded slowly. Yes, he said, that's what everyone believed. Real quick, if you've ever been one bill away from losing everything, hit like and subscribe. Because what happened next doesn't sound real until it happens to you. Daniel pulled out a thin folder, no logo, no fancy branding, just paper. I'm not here to reopen pain, he said. I'm here because I owe your family a debt. My mom gave a sharp, nervous laugh. A debt, she said. Sir, with respect, you got the wrong house. Daniel opened the folder. Photos slid onto our table, old warehouse shots. Whiteboards packed with numbers, blueprints covered in handwritten notes. Then my breath caught. A photo of my dad, younger, cleaner, not in his hospital jacket, standing next to Daniel Whitmore. And they weren't posed like employee and boss. They looked like equals, like partners. My mom stared at it like it might bite her. That's not real, she whispered. Daniel didn't rush her. He let the truth sit in the air. Your husband was brilliant, he said quietly. He helped build my company from the ground up. My voice came out smaller than I wanted. Then why were we struggling? I asked. Why was he working nights? Daniel's eyes softened. Because when it was time to cash out, he said, your husband walked away. My mom snapped fast. No, she shook her head. Not when we were drowning. Daniel held her gaze. He did, he said, and I didn't understand it. Not then, a beat, but I understand it now. My mom's jaw clenched. So what is this really? She said. A scam, a lawsuit, you here to embarrass us? Daniel breathed out slowly. Neither. Then he dropped it clean and heavy. Last month I sold the company. Half a second. 9 billion. The room went silent in a way that felt unreal. 9 billion. My mom grabbed the chair like it might tip. Daniel's voice got quieter. And your husband, he said carefully, was supposed to own half. My ears started ringing. Daniel reached into his coat again. This time it wasn't papers, it was an envelope, thick, heavy. He set it on the table like it weighed a ton. I'm here, he said, to give you what your family should have had all along. My fingers hovered over it. Daniel leaned in just a little. Before you open that, he said, you need to know who your father really was. Then, softer, almost a warning. Because the moment you do, someone's going to come looking for you. Want next part? Comment, open IT, and hit subscribe right now. Because when we opened that envelope, we didn't just find money, we found the truth. And the truth had a price. The envelope wasn't cash, it wasn't a check, and it definitely wasn't good news. Because the second we opened it, Daniel Whitmore stood up, went straight to the window, and said 5 words that stopped my heart. They know where you live. Nobody moved. The envelope just sat there on our table, thick, heavy, like it was daring us to touch it. My mom's fingers hovered over the seal, then pulled back. You open it, she said. That scared me more than if she had yelled. I slid my finger under the flap, the paper tore. The sound felt way too loud in our little kitchen. Inside wasn't money, it was a folder. A flash drive taped to the inside. And a folded letter yellowed at the edges, but the flash drive is what got me. A strip of old masking tape was wrapped around it, tape peeling at the corners, and on it in my dad's handwriting, "If they come run," my throat tightened. Proof, I whispered mostly to myself. Proof of what? Daniel's voice came out low. Your husband told me, he said, if anything ever happened to him, you'd need a way to protect yourselves. My mom sat down like her knees gave out. I unfolded the letter, and the second I saw my dad's handwriting, my hands started shaking. The first line didn't feel like a mystery novel. It felt like my dad. If you're reading this, I didn't make it back. My mom sucked in a breath. I kept reading, and if I didn't make it back, listen to me. I didn't leave because I stopped loving you. I left because I was trying to keep you alive. My voice cracked on the words. Mom, her eyes were locked on the paper like it could burn her. The letter explained things I never understood growing up. Why Dad quit jobs out of nowhere. Why we moved twice in 3 years. Why he always checked the street before unlocking the door. Why he never put his name on anything big. Then I hit the line that made my stomach twist. Someone was watching. And the moment they realized I saw it, we became a problem. I didn't even know what to say. I looked up at Daniel. What did he see? I asked. Daniel's mouth opened, then closed again, like he was choosing words carefully. Things inside the company that weren't just business, he said. Things that would get people hurt. My mom's voice came out sharp but shaky. Say it. Daniel exhaled through his nose like he hated hearing it out loud. Dirty money, he said. Fake companies, and contracts that didn't make sense until you realized they were hiding something. He rubbed his jaw once. And your husband found the trail. My mom stood up, anger and fear fighting in her face. So you let him walk, she said. You just let him disappear with nothing. Daniel's eyes stayed on the table for a second, then he looked up. I begged him to stay, he said. I told him we could fight it. And, I asked. Daniel swallowed. Your father said, he paused like his voice almost didn't work. He said, I can rebuild money, I can't rebuild my family. My mom pressed her hand to her mouth. Daniel kept going, quieter now. He signed everything over, he said. No paper trail, no lawsuits, no noise. He wanted to vanish before they could notice you. My mom shook her head like her brain refused it. Then why now? She asked. Why come back after all these years? Daniel didn't answer right away. His eyes flicked to the front window again. Then he said it rougher this time. Because they're active again, he said. And I think they never stopped looking. They just paused. That was the first time he sounded human, not billionaire calm, like a man holding panic behind his teeth. If you're still here, stay with me. Because this is the moment our story stops being about money and turns into a chase. Daniel pointed at the flash drive. That's everything your father saved, he said. Names, dates, transactions, the kind of proof that makes powerful people desperate. I stared at the tape again. If they come run, my mom's voice went low. Why give this to us? She asked. Why not the police? Daniel shook his head. Because the wrong people get warned, he said, and because my name is public, my security's tight. Then he looked at us. But your family, he said. Nobody sees you. And I hated how true that was. We'd spent our whole lives being overlooked. Turns out that was the only thing keeping us breathing. So what happens now? My mom asked. Daniel's eyes flicked to the window again. Now you don't stay here tonight, he said. My mom snapped back fast. No, this is our home. Daniel didn't raise his voice. He didn't have to. They checked this address 3 days ago, he said. My stomach dropped. My mom's face changed. 3 days, she whispered. While we were sitting right here, Daniel pulled out his phone and slid it across the table. A photo, a black sedan parked down our street, time-stamped 3 days ago. My mom stared at it, then at me. So we've been living in it, she said, barely breathing. The danger, we've been living in it. Daniel placed another envelope on the table. Keys slid out, hotel keys. Packed clothes, he said. Nothing else, my mom blinked. We can't just leave everything. You can, Daniel said, and you will. My anger flared up. You don't get to walk in here and run our lives, I said. Daniel met my eyes. Your father told me you'd say that, he said, because you got his pride. That line hit me like a slap. Then he added quieter, and I'm sorry, I know how this looks. He glanced at the folder. He also told me, Daniel said, if I ever showed up at this house, it meant he was already gone. My mom sat down again like the room tilted. Daniel leaned forward. No calls, he said. No posts, no goodbyes. You take the flash drive, the letter, and your ids, my mom whispered like it hurt to say it. Are we running? Daniel didn't sugarcoat it. Yes, he said, for tonight you're running. As Daniel stood to leave, I lifted the letter again. There's something else, I said. He stopped. At the bottom of the page under my dad's signature was a name, not Daniel's, not ours, a third name. I read it out loud, and Daniel went still, like somebody had just turned off the air. That name, he said slowly, is the reason your father ran. My mom's voice came out thin. Who is he? Daniel didn't answer directly. He looked at the window again, then back at us. He's the one person, Daniel said, I prayed would never find you. A car door slammed outside. Daniel's head turned instantly. Then heavy steps on the porch. Slow, confident, the doorknob rattled once, like a warning, then the knock hit. Not polite, not steady. This one was loud, demanding. Daniel's voice dropped to a whisper. They're here. Want next part? Comment they're here and hit subscribe. Because the next sound we heard wasn't a knock, it was the lock turning. The lock turned, not fast, not frantic, slow like it wasn't their first door. Daniel didn't reach for the handle, he reached for his phone. And in a voice I'd never heard from him before, a voice that sounded like fear trying to stay quiet, he said, "Get away from the windows." Now, my mom grabbed Emma first, scooped her up like she was 5 again, not a kid who'd started rolling her eyes at everything. Emma blinked, half asleep. "What's happening?" she whispered. Then smaller, "Are we in trouble?" My mouth went dry. The doorknob rattled again, harder this time. Then the knock came back louder, boom, boom. Daniel stepped between us and the front door like he belonged there. Like he was about to negotiate, but his hands were tight at his sides. He glanced at the folder and the flash drive on the table. "Take those," he said. I snatched the folder, shoved the flash drive in my pocket. That masking tape, if they come run, pressed against my thigh like it was burning through the fabric. My mom whispered, "Who is that?" Daniel didn't answer. He called out through the door, voice steady. "You've got the wrong address," he said, a beat. Then a voice came back through the wood. "Open up." "No, sir." "No, please, just command." Daniel's jaw flexed. "Who is this?" Daniel asked. Silence. Then the voice again, closer. "Open the door, Whitmore." "Don't make this messy." My mom went pale. He knew Daniel's name. Daniel stared at the deadbolt like he was deciding what move to make. Then he whispered, barely moving his lips, "They tracked me." He motioned us toward the hallway. "Back room," he mouthed. We moved fast, quiet without trying. Emma clung to my mom's shoulder, shaking. The front lock clicked again, a soft scrape, metal on metal. I swallowed. "They have a key," I whispered. Daniel didn't look at me. "No," he whispered back. "They have someone who opens things." My stomach flipped. Then Daniel reached into his suit jacket and pulled out a small, flat device. Not a weapon, nothing like that. It looked like a security sensor. Clean, black. Square, he pressed it to the inside of the doorframe near the deadbolt. A tiny light blinked. "What is that?" I breathed. Daniel's eyes stayed on the door. "Insurance," he said. Another hit. Boom. Emma flinched so hard she almost cried out. My mom covered her mouth, then the voice dropped lower, almost amused. "You got 10 seconds. Daniel's eyes flicked toward the kitchen. "Plan changed," he whispered. "We're going out the back." My mom shook her head, panicked. "We don't have a back." "We do," I said. "Kitchen door, the busted latch." Daniel nodded once. "Move," he said. We slid into the kitchen. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would give us away. The back latch was always weird. My dad used to jiggle it a certain way. I tried it, hands shaking. Nothing. Another slam at the front door. This one made the whole house shiver. My mom whispered, "Please, please." I jiggled again, harder. Click, the latch gave. Cold air hit my face. Daniel eased the door open just enough to look. Backyard, fence, trash bins, neighbor's house close enough to hear their TV, no time to think. "Go," Daniel hissed. My mom went first, gripping Emma tight. Emma's socks hit wet grass and she nearly slipped. I followed, clutching the folder against my chest. Daniel came last, and right as he stepped out, a metallic snap from the front. The door swung inward, footsteps inside our house, not running. Walking like whoever came in wasn't worried at all. Daniel pulled the back door mostly shut, leaving a crack. He leaned in and listened, his face tightened. "They're not alone," he whispered. "If you're still here, don't leave." Because from this moment on, every choice cost us something. We crouched behind the trash bins, mud soaked through my shoes. Emma's breathing was fast and loud. I leaned close to her. "Slow breaths," I whispered. "Like you're blowing out candles." She tried. Daniel's thumb flew across his phone. "Driver's 2 minutes," he whispered. My mom's eyes flashed. 2 minutes, she hissed. "They're in our house." Daniel's gaze stayed sharp. "I know," he said. "And if we bolt into the street, they'll see us." A flashlight beam swept across the fence line. My blood went cold. Someone was checking yards. Daniel leaned closer. "Whatever happens," he whispered, "don't say that name." "Not out loud." "The name in the letter?" I whispered. Daniel nodded once. My mom's voice trembled. "What is that name?" Daniel didn't answer, because a porch light clicked on next door. Mr. Haskins, older guy, always watching. Always complaining about trash day. His back door opened. He stepped out in slippers, holding his phone, and he looked straight at us, not confused, not surprised, like he'd been waiting. My mom whispered, "Oh my God." Mr. Haskins raised the phone to his ear and said loud and clear, "Yeah, they're in the back." My mom's face cracked. "You called them?" she snapped. Haskins didn't even flinch. "A man came by earlier," he said, "paid me to make a call." Daniel's expression went flat, dangerous calm. "How much?" Daniel asked. Haskins hesitated, then shrugged. 2,000 cash, 2,000. That's what our lives were worth to him. Emma started crying, quiet, helpless. Daniel turned to us. "Run," he said. "Now." We bolted across the yard toward the fence. Behind us, footsteps sped up, fast now. A shout from inside our house. "Backyard, move." We hit the fence, tall, old wood. I shoved the folder through a gap first like it mattered more than me. Hands on the top, pull. Emma whispered, panicking, "I can't." "Yes, you can," I snapped, then softened. "Yes, you can, right now, go." My mom boosted her, I pushed. Emma tumbled over into leaves. My mom climbed next, then me. As I swung my leg over, a flashlight snapped onto my face. A man in dark clothes stood in the yard. Light in one hand, not police, not a neighbor, just someone doing a job. He smiled, like he already knew my face. Then Daniel grabbed the back of my hoodie and yanked me down off the fence. We hit the ground hard, pain shot through my shoulder, but we kept moving. Headlights flashed at the end of the alley. A black SUV rolled in, Daniel's driver. The door swung open. "Get in," the driver shouted. We sprinted. My mom shoved Emma inside first. I dove in after. Daniel slid in last. The door slammed. The SUV lurched forward. I looked back through the rear window. Our house sat there, porch light glowing. A shadow moved in the front doorway, watching us leave. Daniel leaned forward, voice tight. "They weren't here for me," he said. I blinked. "What?" I asked. Daniel's eyes met mine. "They came for you," he said, "for what your father left you." My stomach dropped. Then he added, like it hurt to admit it, "And your neighbor wasn't the one who sold you out." My mom snapped, "What are you talking about?" Daniel stared at the driver's headrest. "The driver didn't look at us," he whispered, "not once." I turned toward the front. The driver's eyes stayed on the road, too steady, too calm. Then the SUV doors clicked, locked from the inside. Daniel's voice dropped to a whisper. "They found us because someone in this car already told them where to look." Want next part? Comment, locked in, and subscribe. Because the scariest part wasn't the knock, it was realizing we were already trapped. The doors locked, not the little click from child locks. This was the heavy, automatic kind. Daniel's eyes snapped to the handles, then to the driver, and the driver finally spoke, not angry, not loud, just calm. "Phones on the floor." Now my mom pulled Emma close so hard Emma squeaked. "Hey," Emma whispered. "It's okay," my mom lied. Her voice shook. I stared at the driver's neck. The way he sat too straight, like this wasn't his first time. Daniel didn't move. "Who are you?" Daniel asked. The driver didn't answer, just kept driving. Streetlights cut across his face in stripes, and in one of those flashes I saw something on his wrist. A thin black band, not a watch. A band with a tiny silver symbol stamped into it. Daniel saw it too. Daniel's throat moved when he swallowed. "That's not possible," Daniel whispered. My stomach dropped. The driver took a slow breath like he was bored. "Phones," he repeated. "Floor." My mom's hand went to her pocket out of habit. Daniel lifted one finger, a warning, "Don't." He leaned slightly toward us, voice low. "Do not fight," he murmured. "Not in the car." Emma's eyes filled up. "Are we gonna die?" she whispered. My mom's breath caught. "No," she whispered back too fast. "No, baby." But her eyes didn't match her words. The driver reached up and tapped something near the dashboard, a beep. Then my phone in my pocket, the screen went black like someone cut the cord. I hit the power button. Nothing. My mom tried hers, dead. Daniel exhaled. "Signal jammer," he said under his breath. The driver smiled barely. "Smart," he said. "Now you're thinking again." Daniel's voice stayed steady, but the edge was there. "You were vetted," Daniel said. "I don't hire amateurs." The driver finally glanced in the mirror. And for the first time his eyes met mine, cold, not hate. "Just empty." "I wasn't hired," he said. "I was placed." Daniel leaned back slowly. "By who?" Daniel asked. The driver didn't answer. Instead he said, "Don't say the name." My skin prickled. The name from Dad's letter, he knew. The SUV took a sharp turn, not toward the highway, toward the industrial side of town, shuttered factories, rusted signs, abandoned loading docks. The kind of place that feels empty even when it isn't. Daniel's fingers flexed once. Then he forced them still. "You don't have to do this," Daniel said. "There's money, a lot of it." The driver let out a quiet laugh. "This isn't about money," he said. "It never was." My mom's voice came out low and dangerous. "Then what do you want?" The driver didn't look back. "What he wants," Daniel said softly, "is what your husband took." Emma clutched my mom tighter. "What did Dad take?" she whispered. Daniel stared at the road ahead like he could see the next mile. "Leverage," he said, "the kind that makes powerful people panic." The driver's hands tightened on the wheel just a little. That was the first crack. Daniel saw it. And Daniel pushed. "He's scared of what's on that drive," Daniel said. "That's why he jammed our phones." The driver's voice sharpened for the first time. "Shut up." And right then I knew Daniel was right. The SUV slowed at a red light, a chance. My heart hammered, my eyes flicked to the handle. Locked, I looked at Daniel. He didn't look at me, he looked at Emma. And that told me everything. If I do something stupid, Emma pays. Daniel leaned slightly toward me, whispering. When the car stops, don't run, he said. Hide. My mom shook her head, tears building. Stop, she whispered. Please. Daniel's voice softened just for her. I'm sorry, he said. I should have come sooner. My mom's face twisted. So you admit it, she hissed. You waited. Daniel didn't deny it. I thought I could contain it, he said. I was wrong. The driver turned into a long, empty lot, chain-link fence, a warehouse silhouette. One flickering light above a side door, the SUV rolled to a stop. Engine stayed on, the driver didn't move. Then he said, out. If you're still here, stay with us, because this is where the truth stops whispering and starts swinging. We stepped out, cold air hit my lungs. The warehouse sat there like a giant mouth. Daniel stepped out last, and when he did, he subtly slid something from his pocket. A second flash drive, smaller, different. He palmed it like a magician. A decoy, the driver walked around to the back door of the SUV, opened it. Give me the folder, he said. I froze. My mom's hand tightened around Emma's. Daniel stepped forward. You don't need the family, he said. You need me? The driver smiled thin. I need what's on the drive, he said, and I need the kid holding it. My stomach flipped. The kid, me, Daniel's voice dropped. Don't. The driver took one step closer. And then behind the warehouse, another car rolled in. Black sedan, same kind we saw in the photo. Two men got out, no uniforms, no badges, just purpose. One of them looked at Daniel and nodded like he was checking a list. Then his eyes moved to my mom and Emma, and he smiled, wrong kind of smile. Daniel's shoulders went tight. He leaned toward me, whispering, whatever happens, protect Emma. My mom snapped, Daniel, what is this? Daniel's voice shook for the first time. This is the price, he said, for being near your husband. The man from the sedan walked closer. He didn't rush. He didn't have to. When he spoke, it was gentle, too gentle. Mrs. Carter, he said. I'm sorry for the scare. My mom stiffened. How do you know my name? The man smiled. I know a lot of names, he said, then his eyes slid to me. And I know you read the letter. My blood went ice. He held out his hand. Give me the drive, he said, and this ends clean. Daniel stepped in. You touch them and the man raised one finger, cutting Daniel off like he was nothing. Daniel, he said softly, you don't make threats anymore. Daniel went still. That told me everything. This man outranked him. He leaned toward me and said the name. Just one word, and Daniel's face drained of color because it wasn't a name, it was initials. It sounded like a code. And Daniel looked like he'd just heard a death sentence. My hands shook around the folder. The man waited, patient, then he nodded toward Emma. Or, he said, still smiling, we do this the hard way. Emma's fingers tightened around my mom's sleeve. My mom whispered, broken, please. Daniel's voice was barely there. Don't give it to them, he said. The man took one step closer, and I realized something terrifying. This wasn't a negotiation. This was a trade, the drive or Emma. Comment trade if you think you know what I should do. Subscribe for final part because the next 10 seconds decide our lives. This was a trade, the drive or Emma. My hands shook so bad the folder rattled. My mom made this broken little sound in her throat. Daniel didn't blink, and then he did something that shocked me. He smiled, not happy, not confident. Like a man who finally understood the game. And he said real quiet, all right, let's trade. Time didn't feel normal. It felt stretchy, like every second had teeth. The man with the initials, code name, held his hand out, patient. Like he knew we'd fold. Emma's little fingers gripped my mom's sleeve so tight her knuckles turned pale. Please, my mom whispered again, not to him, to me. I looked at the folder, then at Daniel. And Daniel gave me the smallest shake of his head. Don't, my chest burned, because I understood what he meant. If I hand over the drives, they don't just leave, they come back whenever they want. We become their property, but if I don't, Emma. I swallowed hard, then I did the only thing I could do. I started talking, not yelling, not begging, just stalling. You said this ends clean, I told the man. Say it again. Say exactly what clean means. He smiled like he admired the question. Clean means, he said, your sister goes home, your mother goes home, you go home. And Daniel, I asked, his smile didn't change. Daniel doesn't go anywhere. Daniel's jaw tightened. My mom gasped like she'd been punched. Daniel stepped forward. Take me, he said, leave them out of it. The man with the initials tilted his head. Oh, Daniel, he said softly. You're not the payment. He nodded toward my pocket, right where the flash drive burned against my leg. You're the delivery. Daniel lifted his hand. All right, he said. Let's trade. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the smaller flash drive. The decoy, he held it up between two fingers. The man's eyes flicked to it just for a second. And in that second, I caught something. A tiny twitch in the driver's face, like he knew what was coming. Daniel stepped forward, arm extended. You want it? Daniel said, take it. The man with the initials reached out. And right as his fingers were about to touch the decoy, Daniel dropped it, on purpose. It hit the ground, plastic clacked on concrete. Everyone's eyes went down for half a beat, and that half a beat was everything. Daniel's other hand moved fast. He slapped that security sensor device onto the warehouse doorframe behind him, the same type he used at our house. A small light blinked, then beep. A loud, sharp alarm exploded from inside the warehouse. Not a car alarm, a facility alarm. Red lights started flashing behind the dirty windows, like the building woke up angry. The men near the sedan froze. What though one of them snapped, Daniel's voice stayed calm. "That's my insurance," he said. "Turns out warehouses still have panic systems." The man with the initials didn't flinch much, but his eyes went colder. "You think noise saves you?" Daniel didn't answer because he wasn't done. I took a step forward, voice shaking but loud enough to cut through the alarm. "You want the drive?" I said. "Cool." The man's gaze snapped to me. I pulled the flash drive out of my pocket, the one labeled "If They Come, Run." My mom inhaled like she was about to scream. Daniel's eyes widened a fraction, like he didn't expect me to do that. I held it up. "But you don't get it," I said. "You think this is leverage." I swallowed. "It's not." The man's smile came back. "Then what is it?" I stared straight at him. "It's a dead man's switch." That landed. Even the driver shifted. I kept going before fear could stop me. "My dad didn't just save files," I said. "He copied them, he mailed them, he scheduled them." Daniel's head turned toward me. "What?" he breathed. I nodded once, heart pounding. "My dad wasn't flashy," I said, "but he was careful." I held the drive higher. "This drive is only one piece," I said. "And if it disappears, if I disappear," I looked at the man with the initials. "The rest gets sent out." The man's eyes narrowed. "You're bluffing." And that's when my mom spoke, quiet, trembling. "He's not bluffing." We all turned. My mom's eyes were wet, but her voice was steady in a way I'd never heard. She reached into her pocket and pulled out something small, a folded piece of paper, old, worn. "I found this in your father's toolbox years ago," she said. "I didn't understand it then." She unfolded it, a list, dates, times. Email addresses, then one line at the bottom: "If anything happens to me, send everything." My stomach dropped. She'd known, not everything, but enough. Daniel stared at her like he'd just been slapped by the truth. "You had this," Daniel whispered. My mom's voice broke. "He told me to keep it," she said, "and I hated him for it." She looked at the man with the initials. "But I kept it." The man with the initials took one slow step forward. "Give me the list," he said. Daniel moved instantly, blocking him. "No," Daniel said. The man's eyes slid past Daniel to Emma. Emma flinched, and that was it. That was the line. Daniel snapped. He reached into his suit and pulled out his phone, the same phone that should have been useless. He hit one button. A loud, clear voice echoed from the phone's speaker. "Daniel Whitmore, location confirmed, units inbound." The driver's head turned sharply. "What did you do?" the driver hissed. Daniel's voice was cold. "I said my security's tight," he replied. "I didn't say it was here." The man with the initials smile finally slipped, just a crack, because for the first time he wasn't controlling the timeline. Headlights appeared at the far end of the lot. Multiple vehicles, fast. The driver cursed under his breath and reached toward his waistband. Daniel grabbed his wrist and slammed it against the SUV. Hard, the driver grunted. The silver symbol band flashed in the light. Daniel leaned in, teeth clenched. "You were placed," Daniel hissed. "Congrats." He twisted the driver's arm. "Now you're caught." The man with the initials stepped back 2 paces, reassessing. He looked at me, at the drive, at my mom, at the list. At Emma, then he did something I didn't expect. He laughed, soft and dangerous. "You really think you won?" he said. Daniel didn't answer because now you could hear it, sirens close. The man with the initials took one last look at Emma, then at me. And he said it like a promise: "This doesn't end here." Then he nodded to his men. They moved, not toward us, toward the sedan, fast. They jumped in and peeled out, tires spitting gravel. The sirens got louder. The warehouse alarm kept screaming, and in the chaos my mom dropped to her knees and hugged Emma so tight Emma squeaked again. "I got you," my mom whispered into her hair. "I got you, I got you." My legs gave out. I leaned against the SUV, shaking. Daniel stood there, chest rising and falling. And for the first time since he knocked on our door, he looked older, not billionaire old, just human old. He walked up to me slowly. "You did good," he said quietly. I stared at him. "My dad set all this up?" I asked. Daniel nodded once. "Your father," he said, voice rough, "was the smartest person I ever met." He paused. "And he loved you more than he loved money." Minutes later, Daniel's real security arrived. Not cops, private, professional, the kind that moves like they've rehearsed chaos. They separated us, checked Emma, checked my mom. One of them approached Daniel. "Sir," he said, "we can relocate them tonight." Daniel nodded. Then he turned back to us. My mom's eyes were red. "So what now?" she asked. "Do we just keep running?" Daniel looked at our hands. "At the folder, at the flash drive." Then he shook his head. "No," he said, "no more running." He pulled out a clean envelope from inside his coat, not the same one as before. This one had official seals, not flashy, just real. He placed it in my mom's hands. "This is a trust," he said, "set up in Emma's name and yours." My mom blinked hard. "Daniel," she whispered. He held her gaze. "I can't give you your husband back," he said. But I can give you the safety he died trying to buy you. I felt my throat burn. And the company? I asked. Daniel looked at me. It's yours, he said. Not the whole thing, not the headlines. He tapped the folder. But what your father was owed and what you're owed will be protected. He leaned closer, voice low. And if they come back, he nodded at the drive. We don't hide. We got into the secure SUV. Emma asleep on my mom's shoulder, finally breathing slow. I looked down at the masking tape on the drive. If they come, run. Then my phone still dead buzzed once, just once. The screen lit up for the first time all night, one new message. No number, no name, just 3 words, nice trade, kid. If you made it to the end, comment nice trade so I know you're real, and share this with someone who'd never leave you behind. Because the truth is, money didn't change our lives.